heard this before, but there's a lot of criticism that the state doesn't give enough money back towards social equity programs. I want to acknowledge that Prop 64 completely forgot to do any of that stuff on there. They took all the cannabis tax dollars and they gave it to all of our opposition. Unions, drug prevention groups, law enforcement, all that money goes to them. It doesn't go to the state to give back to our businesses. So that's part of the issues that we have when we work on the state level as to how we fix these things to, quite frankly, make sure all the stakeholders are happy in that process.
We'll go through the process we went through to try to determine which tax is the last tax, because the state of California said, we are now the last tax. And the city of Los Angeles said, no wait, so are we. And then it was kind of like this back and forth, who's going to be the last tax? And they argued over it, and we argued over it. And we talked to the Office of Finance and all of their directors and said, sorry, it's under statute, we can't change it. And then we talked to the CDTFA and they said, I'm sorry, but this is the new law. We just wrote a bill on it, and now we're a gross receipts tax. Plus we're the state of California. Los Angeles is big, but we're still the state of California, and what we say goes. Even though the state said this is the way you do it, LA is saying do it differently, otherwise you're non-compliant. So if you don't tax the way I just said, 16.5, 12.99, you are non-compliant with one of those agencies.
But there's a third party too.
Oh.
There's a third party, right? So it's like you want to be compliant by the state, you want to be compliant by the local. We all forget the customer. Wait till the customer sees the receipt and says, why is this 12.99? I thought we were only 10%.
Just to share, any other insight you have around the health of retailers across the state.
Retailers will be the last to fail. You're looking at a supply chain that is oversaturated the production side. The sales side, not so much. Yeah, there's a lot of competition, but if this legal industry is going to continue to survive, retailers will be the last to die.
We think this year, this is what we can accomplish. So, going back real quickly, it was, the first one's have the conversations with the different agencies. We're starting that, we're continuing that. Next one is the bill. So last week, we've been hustling on getting that stuff in there. Senator Bradford, we are so grateful to him. Represents out here in LA. He's actually running the bill for us. He's been a huge champion. Last year, he also helped out with the tax issue as well. We have a lot of reason to feel encouraged that we're going to achieve something here with that kind of a supporter at our back to do this. So, I'm hoping that all of us here after tonight are going to be able to walk away with this and kind of do more together to help champion him in those efforts as well. But I want to be clear on the timeline. So the first one is great. We have these conversations. Everyone realizes they're wrong. Tomorrow it's fixed. We're done with that. Not going to happen that quickly. At least I'd love it to, but I don't think it's that realistic, right? So the bill comes back. Okay, so what was the first step? First, we get an author. We get this stuff put together. Had that done last week. Now we start the process. Jerred could probably tell you all about that going forward, but it's going to be different committee after different committee, getting it through on the Senate, getting it through on the Assembly, finally having it pass on both that, having the governor then sign it. If it goes through that whole process, we're looking at October-ish to get this fixed. So we're looking at what, almost 3 full quarters now we're going into this stuff? That we're going to be having this whole tax issue in here just to fix it that'll probably go into effect next year. That's massively going to be impactful to us. So we need to plan on how we're going to handle that. Part of that is what he was saying. Have to raise your tax to 12.99 in LA or whatever else we got to do. We're going to have to adjust on that stuff. It's not going to be an overnight fix. So I want to be clear on that, but it is honestly the biggest solution we have right now to fix this, and it's the one that we're going to focus the hardest on.
Yeah.